Hi again, everyone. Ed, the Finance Guy. Thanks for tuning in again. Do appreciate it. Very happy to see people listening, tuning in, sending emails, questioning things. If you need anything, ed1959@usa.com. I wanted to talk today about the EIDL loan, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which, by the way, is still available. If you're interested, you can give me a call. I'll help you apply. It's a loan that goes towards businesses, or if you have some kind of a side hustle, you're working babysitting, you're cleaning houses, whatever you're doing, you'll be able to apply for this loan. You're not able to get that advance that they talk about for all this time, the $10,000 advance, which became up to $10,000 advance, which then became $1,000 per employee, which has changed many times, this EIDL. But the deal is fantastic. It's 3.75% interest. You don't make any payments for a year. If you end up not needing the money and in a year you pay back that money, you still have to pay the 1 year worth of interest. But still, it's a good cushion. It's something good to take, because you never know when this pandemic's going to be over. You might as well have enough money in your account to cover your bills, cover your business expenses. But the question about the EIDL, which everybody seems to ask, and I search many hours looking to see exactly what you can spend the money on, but nothing is very clear on this loan, except that there are things you're allowed to spend and things you're not allowed to spend it on. But I'm going to go over the list and I'm going to explain to you how I look at it. Now, at this point, over 2 million people were approved for this loan. So the loan is pretty good loan. You get $50,000 for $200-300 a month. If you have a business, it's definitely going to keep you afloat. It has worked very well for my clients. I received over $8 million in EIDL money for clients. It's keeping their business open. And I really appreciate the fact that they came up with a program like this, because it's helping my clients and helping a lot of people stay in business. Now, what you're supposed to use this money for is, they say, working capital. Day-to-day expenses to stay open, which means paying your current debts, salaries, inventory, rent, short-term debt, current credit card bills that you have. So if you recently put money on your credit card in March or April for anything that you, any of your business expenses, you could always pay it off, no problem. So that end of it is pretty understandable. They want you to use the money for business. That's what they're giving you the money for, to stay in business. So they don't want you to take the money and use it for anything but business. Makes sense. What you can't use it for is payments of any dividends, or if you, for example, owe a partner money from 3 years ago, you can't just cut a check for that amount. So it's not a current debt. Now, any disbursements to owners, unless it was directly associated with services they provided, or let's say that you put $5,000 of your own money in March into the company checking account to pay your bills, and now you're getting this EIDL money, you could take that money back, because that's money that you used, you're reimbursing to cover your own expense that you put in the account to cover your bills. So that's fine. Now, if you want to pay yourself personal loans that you took, they can't be loans from 5 years ago that you're paying off. So that's not a current bill that you're paying. That's not allowed. If you wanted to expand your business, you wanted to move into another space next door, you're not allowed to do that. If you have any personal loans that you put in, again, currently, anything you put in now, not put in 2-3 years ago, you could always take that money back. You can't refinance long-term debts. So you have a 5-year note with somebody, you can't just write a check and pay it off. You can pay him monthly payments out of that money, but you can't take the one big check and pay the whole debt off. Anything long-term, 3-year car note, you have any kind of a bill that's a 4 or 5 year loan, 2-year loan, you can't repay that. But you could pay the monthly payments back every month. That counts, that you could do. If you have another SBA loan, another small business account loan, and the interest rate is 8%, and you want to take this loan, pay it off because the rate's better, can't do that. Not allowed to pay off that debt. Not allowed to relocate. So if all of a sudden your area isn't good for your line of work, you can't move to another place, which is ridiculous. I mean, if you want to stay in business and you have to relocate to stay in business, why wouldn't you be able to do that? So there are things on there that I question why they would stop you from doing certain things. Now, the question is, can an owner pay himself? Now, he can pay himself regular salary. Can't take a $10,000 bonus, or, he did a good job, here's $25,000 for the owner. That he can't do, but the current payroll, you can make those payments. Can you buy a new home? Can you buy a property? These are questions clients have asked me all the time. The answer is no. You're not allowed to take that money and do anything unless it's business related. Buying another home is not business related. Can I pay my own mortgage? Now, can you pay your monthly mortgage? It depends. If you're using your house, part of your house as a business expense, you have an office in the house, then yeah, you could pay part of your mortgage every month. You can't pay the whole mortgage off one shot, but you could pay a percentage, whatever percentage that you're writing off on your taxes to cover your office versus the total amount of the house. So if you're using 10% of the house for your office, you could pay 10% of that rent from the EIDL money. Now, also, that people want to know, is there a time limit for when you could use these funds? Now, they're saying that they want you to keep track of everything you spend, which I advise keeping a spreadsheet, writing down whatever you're using the money for, business-wise, rent, telephone, cell phone, any kind of expenses for business, inventory. Keep a sheet where you'd be able to show them what you use the money for. And they say that they want you to keep receipts for 3 years. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. So if you don't use the money at all for 3 years, then you could use it for anything you want. Or do I have to pay it all back because I didn't use the money at all? All these questions, there's no answer for. At least I can't find the answer. If you find the answer, please let me know. ed1959@usa.com. I'll give you the credit. I'll mention your name. I would love to know exactly how they came up with these rules. Now, the documents they make you sign is like 4 pages, and you need to be an attorney to really review it. And I would think that most people don't even review these things. They're happy getting the 30, 40, 50, even 150,000 from the EIDL. They're so happy to use that money. Now, on a personal note, I would take the money. Keep it aside in case you need it. We don't know if the pandemic will be 3 months, 6 months, 2 years. We don't know. Better to take the money. Now, what exactly are they going to do if they find out that you used the money for something you shouldn't have used it for? They're supposed to give you a penalty, I read, of 1.5 times whatever you owe. What if you go bankrupt? Can't you just write it off? You can just, well, I don't have to pay it now, I went bankrupt. What if your business closes? They don't want you to relocate. What does that mean? 3 months down the road, the business is not there. I'm gonna open another business, or I'm gonna move to another location. If you have money sitting in your account for the EIDL money, and all of a sudden you have no other money anywhere else, and you need money for food, you're telling me you're not going to use that money from EIDL to get food for your family? That's crazy. So they're going to come across, they're going to audit you, and they're going to say, well, you used it incorrectly, we want all the money back. Well, I don't have it. Some people are taking it and they're day trading the money. I've read about that many times. They're even telling people that 40% of everyone getting the EIDL money will be out of business in the next year. So that means they're not even expecting to get 40% of the money back. There's even talk from Mnuchin, who says that they may waive the whole thing and have no one pay any of the money back, the PPP money, the EIDL money. So, I mean, these are all things that are in the realm of possibility that you won't have to pay the money back. But my personal advice is just take the money, hold on to it, put it in an account, make your monthly payments, which is really what's important, is making the payments. So even if you have a problem, you keep making the payments. I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but just make sure you keep making the payments. That's the most important part of this program. Again, they do give you guidelines. You're supposed to use the money for business. I tell people they should use the money for business, but God forbid something happens, medical emergency, food emergency. I have a hard time believing people won't take that money and use it for these items. So if you haven't applied yet and you have a business, you're doing any kind of decent revenue, it's a very easy application to fill out. They'll give you the money. You'll wait a year, won't make any payments, and then the payments every month are very small. If you take the money and you hold it for a year and you don't make any payments at all, you didn't use it for anything, and you want to pay it back, you have to pay back the interest, the 3.75% for the first year. So remember, as soon as you get approved for that money and they give you the money, the interest starts accruing right away, whether you use the money or not. So you'll hold it for a year, you'll pay back the $100,000, they're gonna want $3,750 in interest. So the interest keeps accumulating. But where can you borrow money at 3 3/4%? Credit cards are 18 to 22%. So my advice is to take the money, hold on to it, use it for what you need it for. In case there's an emergency, you gotta do what you gotta do to protect your family, and you gotta take care of things. Again, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Education is key. Learn as much as you can. Stay safe, be smart, wear your mask, like, subscribe. This is Ed the Finance Guy. Keep listening, and I'll see you next time.